All right, we're good to go. What is going on, YouTube? My name is Tyler Rossmann and you are watching Tross Films. This video is talking about my channel, Tross Films, what it specifically means, what I do, who I am, and what you can kind of start to expect on this channel. Since quarantine actually began, I can't even say this right. I feel like I can't say that word right. Since the quarantine began, I have started creating more content on this channel. The reason for that is obviously because I've had more time. I was laid off from work, I wasn't going to the gym or working out, and we were all kind of inside our house. So what better thing to do than create more videos on this channel? For the recent subscribers that are new, I've actually been on this platform for almost 8 years. And I just want to say hello. I appreciate your viewership. I appreciate you subscribing because that actually does mean something to me, and I want you to know that. I first originally got into making Tross Films back when I was in high school, and I did it just because I was bored. The real reason as to how I got into video was because I was always fascinated with the aspect of like stopping a moment in time and then re-watching it and being able to replay it and record it, fast forward, rewind. I just think it's insane that we're able to do that. And so I used to make skits and random things when I was young, and I just put them on my channel. A lot of those things were just supposed to be comedy. And just for example, the very first video I uploaded on this channel was an Old Spice commercial spoof, back when the Old Spice commercials were a thing. And it's definitely transitioned over the years. I've went to college, graduated. I am now 26 years old and continuing on my life. During the end of my teens and beginning of my 20s, I definitely went through a lot of changes, just like everyone does, but a lot of them were through mental health related, because I did start opening up about having depression, having anxiety, having an eating disorder. I talked about the time I ended my life and the other time I also did when I was in college, and I started opening up about these things a lot more. And that's when my YouTube channel progressed a lot. I did progress when I was studying abroad in New Zealand, where I created an adventure series where I wanted to make an adventure film about the things I was doing on my time abroad. And pretty much the whole reason I started kind of continuing on was because it's so fun for me to look back at my old videos and relive those moments. Even though I sucked and honestly was so bad at filmmaking back then, it's really fun for me to remember the specific time period. Like, I remember when my sister graduated college back in 2014, that was 6 years ago. Like, that's kind of cool for me to be able to relive, or relive the time right before my nephew was born and stuff like that. And it's just a fun little time capsule. And so one of the reasons as to why I created and why I like to make videos is because this is something that I can look back on for the rest of my life. And I started thinking about the end of life, and specifically when I am really old, hopefully, I can look back on all these videos and have a time capsule and be able to just remember and relive those experiences and really go out with a bang. So that's kind of reason why. The second is because I actually started progressing since I've been in quarantine, and I honestly am wanting to become more dependent on myself, specifically financially. And I know a lot of people come to YouTube specifically to try to just make money because it's been a thing now for years that you can be successful on YouTube. And the reason for me specifically is I just want financial freedom. How I specifically view working for someone, I view is that I'm working for their dream. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but for me, I just felt like I was limiting myself because I wasn't working towards my dream. I was working towards someone else's. And so this is an outlet where if I can financially make it, then I can create so much more and I can have the freedom and flexibility that I want. And the reason that that is important to me is because I feel like I'm a free spirit. And I know that sounds really cheesy and weird, but I've missed out on traveling so much the past few years because of my work schedule. And I really just want to visit my friends out on the East Coast. I want to visit friends across the nation. I want to visit my family members in different states and things like that. Obviously, you know, the COVID's going on, so I'm going to be able to postpone it. But now is a great time for me to really go all in on YouTube because my student loans are on like a time out basically because they're a government student loan. So those are frozen till November. So I'm saving nearly $900 an entire month. And I'm just like, let's just try to go whole gung-ho and see what can happen. And so far it's been a really fun experience, and I've definitely gained a lot more attention, a lot more views, a lot more subscribers, and I appreciate that. And it's fun, but that's not like the main goal. There's a balance between wanting to make it financially, but then also wanting to do it because you want the freedom. And I never want the money to be a thing. I always want the freedom to be the all-powering thing there. And lastly, this video is an outlet for me. I've made a video like 2 or 3 years ago about that this channel is an outlet for me, and it's something that helps my mental health. Like I've mentioned a lot, I struggle with a lot of mental illnesses, and it's something that allows me to express myself, allows me to get out of my thoughts and my negative, juju or whatever you want to call it, and makes me think more creatively, makes me think more about other things, and allows me to just feel like out of a different, mindset. And when I can get in a state of flow when I'm editing, I just feel like everything is shut out around me, and I just feel really like focused and in tune with what I'm doing, and I feel like I'm living. And I really, really savor that experience in that moment. And that's the third reason why I want to keep making videos on this channel, because it helps me express myself, and it helps me manage myself and cope with my mental illnesses as best as it can. Now, in talking about like what my content is actually about, honestly, it's pretty much just my life of whatever I want or whatever I'm thinking of. And I know that sounds really vague, because it is, and this is not really necessarily like a vlogging channel. I do a lot of different things. I've done skits, like comedy skits. I've started doing more unboxing and reviews. I've been doing a little bit of vlogging. The main thing I really do enjoy is a montage of some sort, like a travel film or an adventure film. Those are super fun for me to edit, so I love to put them on here. So it's pretty much a hybrid of like the things that I'm interested in and the things that I really enjoy and am passionate about, and just kind of different aspects of my life that I find fascinating. I want to share, because again, this is for me, and I want to look back on these moments and do things I like. I don't want to do things I don't want to do. Who is the audience? Who are you, the community that I'm trying to build? People that are genuine, people that are authentic, people that don't really sugarcoat things. And again, that's pretty broad, but that's who I am. I have faked a lot of myself in my teenage years, and I put on a mask, and I wasn't being true to who I was. And you can sometimes tell when I'm trying to put on a mask that I'm okay, that I'm trying to pretend like everything's okay, when it's in reality not. And I try to hold myself accountable as best I can. But basically, you, the viewer watching, I hope you just can understand, take me as is. I'm opening myself up, and I like people that open up. I would like to describe myself as a deep thinker and somebody that doesn't like surface level conversations. If you ever see the generic iceberg example where we show only 10% of the iceberg, but then there's 90% all down there, I like to get to the real heart of the issue, the real heart of the matter of why do you like stuff? What's your purpose? What do you get fulfilled with? What excites you? Things like that. Those are the type of people I want to attract as best I can, because I really feel invigorated when I have a conversation or a dialogue or a communication of some kind with someone like that. I really don't care about the weather. I don't care about saying, how you doing? Good. How are you? Good. And then getting on with the day. I don't care about talking about little things like that. I want to get to the heart of life, and those conversations are fun for me. How do you see my content? The content that I show, like I mentioned, is a wide variety of my life. I do a lot of montages, so like travel films, adventure films, etc., things like that, where basically I have like a soundtrack and I edit music to the beat. I cut it really up close, so it's really intense usually, or it's cool or impactful, or like just like boom, 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 boom. I really love those. My wedding films, because I am a professional videographer, for those that didn't know, and I do a lot of wedding videography. Those are very more emotional, but they're kind of telling a story. So it's really fun to kind of get an essence of like a voiceover with music and different things revolving around a specific story of like a couple or love or something like that. I do a lot of sit down talks where I just talk to the camera now. And the big thing is that I'm actually starting a content creator series, which started last week. If you're familiar with my channel at all, but pretty much what I do is I'm deep diving into creating content online for new beginners, because I had a friend that wanted to get into it, and that kind of just started thinking there's probably more people that would like information, more people that would like just to get into the space of content creating, whether it be on YouTube or social media of some kind, but may not know how to do it or kind of how to get into it. And there's so many voices on this platform now, so it's hard to get through, but you know, this is just my voice. This is who I am. If you don't subscribe to me, that's fine. You know how many people see my channel? Not that many. I've been on this thing for so long, and like, it's okay. I've definitely made a lot of mistakes making this channel and kind of progressing. The biggest thing being inconsistency. I have not been consistent, and I've also fluctuated what I do. If I actually stuck to a specific topic, like just penny board videos, I'd have a way better time, because it's a really deep niche. My niche is broad just because it's my life, and it's hard for you, like if you're a stranger, it's hard for you, it's hard for me to get you to subscribe to me, because it's like, why would you subscribe to someone random? Like, you have to get to know me. So I don't expect people to subscribe to me. I don't expect people to like come find my channel, because it's hard, and that's okay. This is mostly for me, and and we'll just take it as that. So if you made it this far, I want to say thank you for watching. That's huge that you got to know me. Please comment below and tell me a little bit about you. This was a response to my first content creator series video, where I asked the 5 why, how, what, who, when questions about creating content. I'd love to know yours. If you want to see that video, I'll link it down below, and here I'll put a tag right up there, and you can watch that. But feel free to stick around, watch some other content, and you know what? That's all I got. So anyways, as always, my name is Tyler Rossmann. Thank you so very much for taking the time out of your day to watch. It really does mean a lot, and I will catch you on my next adventure. Peace out from the red chair. Watch out!